Attaching the LP cylinder to your gas grill isn't difficult, but there are a few steps you should follow every time you replace the cylinder to ensure you're grilling safely. If you ever smell propane, a scent similar to rotten eggs or cabbage, when the cylinder valve is off, step away and call the fire department. It's probably most common that you receive a new LP tank every time you go for a refill. Even if it's your own tank, it's still a good idea to inspect the cylinder before attaching it to the grill. And it's important to keep the tank upright during transit and storage. I keep ratchet ties or bungee cords in my car to make it easy. First off, you'll want to inspect the rubber seal on your cylinder valve for cracks, wear, or deterioration. Even if it works fine, a damaged rubber seal can cause a gas leak, which could lead to a thermal event, fire, or cause bodily harm. I like to check the seal at the store when I exchange my empty tank. It's also wise to check every time you reattach the LP cylinder and if you haven't used your grill in the past 60 days. If you do find damage on the rubber seal, do not use the tank. It can't be repaired or replaced. You'll need a new LP cylinder. Also, never insert tools or foreign objects into the valve opening, as that could damage the rubber seal. Next up, we'll do a leak test. For your safety, we recommend you do this every time you replace your LP tank. Now, you can't be smoking or have open flames during this test, so put out those tiki torches until you're all done. Be sure to perform the test away from gas-fired or electrical appliances, or anything that could draw a spark. Perform the test outdoors in a well-ventilated area, and you're going to do this test before connecting the tank to your grill. Aside from the cylinder, you'll need a 50-50 mixture of mild dish soap and water, and a clean paintbrush. Brush the mixture everywhere the tank has a seam, all around the bottom, middle, and top. Don't forget to brush where the handle connects to the cylinder, and give the rest of the tank a good look over. If it's older or has anything that looks like surface damage, give those areas a brush. As you're brushing, take note if growing bubbles appear. That's how you know if there's a leak. If you do see growing bubbles, don't use or move the tank. Call your LP supplier or fire department. This tank looks good, so we're going to move on and attach it to the grill. Keep your soapy water though, because we're going to do another leak test after we connect the tank. We're going to secure the tank in place before attaching the regulator. There's a little wing nut here on the outer rim of the tank opening. We simply place the cylinder into the hole, then tighten the wing nut to hold it in place. Now, make sure all your control knobs are in the off position. Not doing so will trip a safety device in the regulator, resulting in low flow when we start the grill. This is the regulator. This nipple needs to be centered in the LP cylinder valve, so you need to insert the regulator in a straight line. Use one hand on the coupling nut, the other on the back of the regulator to help guide it in place. Turn the coupling nut clockwise until it's snug. You'll feel a little resistance as the regulator seals on the back check feature in the valve. Give the nut another half to 3/4 turn until it feels good and tight. For additional leverage, use a towel or rag to ensure tightness. Don't use tools to tighten because you could cross the threads and damage the regulator. Now, if you're having trouble getting the regulator to thread, don't force it. Just remove it from the valve and try again, keeping it as centered as you can. We've got a good connection here, so next up is the second leak test, checking the valves, hose, and regulator. Start by turning the hand wheel on the cylinder valve counterclockwise one full turn. Now, if you hear a continuous rushing sound and the smell of propane, turn the gas off immediately. You have a major leak at the connection. Repeat the attaching steps. If the problem persists, return the LP cylinder. So far so good with this tank. Next, brush the soapy water where the coupling nut attaches to the valve, all the way around it, watching out for growing bubbles along the way. Do the same around the hand wheel, along the regulator hose, and, if your grill has a side burner like this one does, around all the fittings under the side burner. If you see growing bubbles at any point, stop what you're doing and close the LP cylinder valve. Retighten the connections and try again. If this doesn't work, you'll need to contact Charbroil for replacement parts. You should perform the leak test where the regulator connects to the tank every time you disconnect the LP cylinder. Well, this grill is good to go. To learn how to start up your grill, follow the instructions printed under the side burner lid or on the inside of the door, or check out our video on the Charbroil YouTube channel. Here's a few more safety tips before we finish. You can always reference your instruction manual for steps and warnings associated with LP hookup and exchange. When not using your grill, turn off all control knobs as well as the LP cylinder valve. Before each use, check the coupling nut on the LP cylinder valve to make sure it's still tight. If grease is dripped on the valve, hose, or regulator, or if you notice anything hot dripping on it, turn off the grill and figure out where the drip came from. It might be that the grease cup is missing or overflowed or something more serious. Fix the source of the leak if you can, then clean, inspect, and perform a leak test on the valve, hose, and regulator before using the grill again. Frost forming on your regulator can be common, especially if it's hot and humid, but it may be a sign of an overfilled LP cylinder or that the tank is not stored upright. If in doubt, return the cylinder to your supplier. Frost on the LP cylinder is also common, but it's not a concern. Liquid propane exists at negative 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Condensation or frost will form when the tank's external temperature drops below the dew point. The frost will actually show you the amount of liquid propane left in the tank. Keep ventilation openings in your cart clear of any debris. Never store a spare tank in the cabinet or next to your grill. There's always a possibility of gas release from the safety relief valve. And lastly, the regulator may make a humming or whistling noise during operation, but this will not affect safety or the use of your grill. Gas grilling is quick, convenient, and fun, and following these safety steps as a precaution will help keep it that way. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. At Charbroil, we're dedicated to helping you get the most out of your grill. We welcome your questions, comments, and suggestions about our products and videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest product news, tips, and recipes.